come to fruition is Miriam Wall. This speaks volumes. It truly shows the level of interest and appreciation for the work that has been done on the historical guidebook that is being launched today. Special thanks to each of you for taking time from your busy schedules to come to this event today, and a general welcome to everyone here. I know that there are many of you who deserve recognition, but first we want to reveal what this is all about. So I would now ask MPP Michael Gravel to please come forward, and then followed by Miriam Wall.
Well, I wanted to go to the art gallery because I always like going to the art gallery. It's great to be there. And actually, I did think about it, to tell you the truth, Jim, but we came here first, so it's good to see you. It's wonderful to see you, as always, and this is a great event to be a part of, because the nice part of the history is, and this is perhaps where Miriam will speak as well, is that it was about, I guess it was about a year ago when we got the announcement about the $31,500 to be awarded to the Little Lions Waldorf Daycare Center to put together this historical document. The Big Boreal Adventure Goes historical document, which is only a real reflection of just the amazing history we have here, certainly in the Thunder Bay area. The document that you'll all be seeing, if you haven't got a copy of it already, is a wonderful start, and there's going to be a second and a third year installment, I understand. So that's really, really rather exciting as well. And it, again, from the perspective of someone who is of my vintage, or perhaps Mayor Hobbs, you're younger than I am, Keith, I know that, I understand that, or perhaps Councillor Ebert, I would be an example of that, closer to age. When you look at the this booklet, it's really cool because it does. It's a kind of tour that we all want to go on. This is really geared towards obviously students. I think grades 4 to 6 have been the focus of the priority probably for those who go on this tour. And this is set up so it'll really work as being something that can be part of the educational experience. So I am just thrilled to be part of this. We are, both myself and Bill, and I sure can speak comfortably on behalf of Bill about this aspect, is that the work that the Ontario Trillium Foundation does in terms of providing support to so many not-for-profit agencies and so many good projects is remarkable. I was talking to Miriam about it ever so briefly before we got started this morning, and it's one of the fun parts of the job, perhaps one of the more challenging parts of being on part of the grant review team, or those who make the decisions on Trillium grants. There's so many projects that are great that maybe aren't in a position to be funded. This was a very good one. This is one that's going to really pay fruit. It is in English and French. Perhaps I think there'll be a little explanation later this way. It will be years 2 and 3 in Ojibwe as well. There has been a translator found for that, and that was an important part of the announcement that was made when we first granted the money. So I am thrilled to be here on behalf of the Government of Ontario. Certainly thrilled to be part of the launch of the Discovery booklet, and thank you very much for letting both myself and Bill be here to applaud you all on this wonderful day. It's going to be a great program, and boy, those of you who want to go on the Big Boreal historical tour, you should join up, because I think it's welcome to people of all ages. Am I right about that?
Yes, you are.
I'm right about that. Thank the Lord, because I'm on camera, and I mean, so thank you very much. Merci beaucoup. Megwich. So you're back here.
Now I would ask Miriam Wall to please come forward.
Okay.
You can hug me too, because she doesn't get one. Good morning, everybody. Thank you very much for the invitation to be here today, and I'm delighted to be here with our representatives from Parliament, from the municipality, and Sister Jacqueline from the First Nation. That would be great. I'm a member of the OTF, of the local grant review team, which means I'm one of several members, representatives from our city and from our entire region, that look at many, many grants that come in, grant requests and applications that come in every year. And I have to say, it is a joy, and I was saying this to Mike, that it's a joy to be on a committee that gives out money. there's not many left that do that, and it's really, that is a great part of the work we do. The tough part though is that we do have to turn down some excellent projects as well, but this was not one of them. And I'm really excited to be here to represent Trillium Foundation, which probably most of you know. It's an agency of the Government of Ontario, and it distributes and has funded, I think, about almost 1,300, 1,400 grants to a wide variety of communities across Ontario, and certainly here to Northwestern Ontario. And on our grant review team, we have representatives from Sulacode, Kenora, Terrace Bay, Fort Francis, right across the region. So we make, I think, fairly representative decisions, and we certainly make decisions based on our knowledge of the communities that we live in and that we love. And that hopefully makes for good decision making, and certainly was, I think, in terms of this particular project. One of the things I liked about this project is that it's actually a joint project, that there are a number of different parties involved, and include the Waldorf School itself, Little Lions, which I actually know from a long way back, and my own 3 sons were quite young and went there. So I was very glad to see, to become reacquainted with some of its activities, with the library, with the museum, and also with Lakehead University through the Department of Aboriginal Education. Like the Minister said, I really like this guidebook. When you see it, I think you'll be as excited and pleased as I was when I saw the end result. And I think there's tours to 5 different parts of the city, if I'm correct. Is that right? Yeah. In a very walkable way. And it certainly is it's designed for families and children, but I think absolutely is something any of us could do. And builds on an existing project that, again, I myself was aware of just by living here on the Port Arthur side of the city, where there are rubbings that children can do as they walk through different parts of the city. So as part of the initial project, there were several different walks that families could do, and I thought it was really innovative. There were brass rubbings, I guess you call them, that people and children could then demonstrate that they had been to those particular areas. What else can I say? I really like the fact that it's currently available in English and in French, and will be translated into Ojibwe, and I think that's a wonderful contribution to our city as we welcome more and more Aboriginal families. I think it'll be great for the schools that have more and more Aboriginal students, and it's a really nice way of endorsing the cultural richness of our community. So I was really happy to hear that that's going forward. It's also going to be available on the web, and I think now maybe discussion that it might be a link onto the city page, so that those of us that maybe aren't aware or aren't aware that it's available in the library, or visitors can connect with it straight off the city website. So that's great. So I'm delighted to be here. I'm delighted to represent Ontario Trillium Foundation. I'm delighted to be part of this project. And without further ado, perhaps we could give the plaque to. Yeah. I believe.
Marilyn, who's the plaque?
Marilyn.
Marilyn?
Come up here.
We need you now, Marilyn.
Yeah.
Let's get out here, Marilyn.
Yeah.
You can be part of it. Marilyn, usually in the middle, I think.
Yes.
For
sure.
I think I should take my shoes off.
Yeah. You are the tall one. Enjoy it, Miriam. Yeah. Okay, sorry.
That's a beautiful plaque.
Yeah, guys, the plaques are really great.
Yes, I'm going to put it on this
Good.
display here.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Miriam. Have a good team.
Thank you very much, Miriam and Michael.
Thank you.
I now invite Larry Hebert to come forward to say a few words on behalf of the Heritage Advisory Committee.
Thank you. It's good to be here. I do want to recognize my boss, Mayor Keith Hobbs. Actually, Keith, you got to come up and say just a few words of welcome. You got to break tradition. Come on, Keith. You got to say a few words.
Okay, let's hear for the mayor.
Sucking up. I want my job back, man.
Well, they asked me at the office if I wanted to say a few words, and I said no. I'd acquiesced to Councillor Hebert because he does a lot of work for the museum, and he's a very active member. But this project is awesome in scope. We're looking at open streets in Thunder Bay this Sunday, which is going to be a great project. So I'm going to put a shameless plug in for that. But we're talking about engaging our youth, and I'm on the DSAT board, so we're talking to Marilyn about issues with children and daycare and that. A lot of important issues, but this one ties in nice to our walkability that we're trying to do in the city as well, make it a vibrant, healthy, strong, connected community where we can walk and bike just about anywhere in the city. So congratulations on this project, congratulations on the funding, and thank you, Michael, to the government and Trillium for another contribution to our great city. And I want to recognize our Francophone community as well, and they're such a big part. I believe 8% of our community or something like that. So in our Aboriginal community, this works well in with that as well. 25% of our community is now Aboriginal. Huge numbers, and that demographic is growing. So congratulations, and thanks, Larry, for bringing me up here, putting me on the spot.
No problem. I guess I'm up here for a number of reasons. One, Michael mentioned I'm old. We went to school together, but I was 1 year older than he was. But my picture's on the wall here, so it's appropriate that we're here today.
Museum.
And I do represent the museum on the museum board, representing council, as well as the Heritage Advisory Committee, also on the library board, wear my library shirt today. June and I share grandchildren, so they use Waldorf daycare and kindergarten. And also, since my name is Hebert, or also Hébert in French, I guess I kind of represent the Francophone. And Mayor Hobbs is always make sure he mentions that we're on the traditional land of Four First Nation wherever he speaks, so I also say that. And just as I was talking, they're handing out the beautiful document that is here today, which outlines the 5 walking tours. They're great tours, as the mayor said, really walkable, and we hope children of all ages bring grandparents and parents and really enjoy and understand the history. And I want to thank Tori, I'm sure, from the Historical Museum Society, had a lot to do with this, because he has a wealth of knowledge about history in this community. Also want to pay tribute to all of our sponsors. This couldn't happen without them. Thank Trillium, certainly recognize the newly elected MPP and Minister Gravel, and again the Mayor. But also say a special thanks to Little Lions. A couple weeks ago at council, they handed out sunflower seeds, which was really nice. And where Marilyn is, she handed them out, gave them to me, and we sent them around the table to plant and growth, and it represents love, and they do this with the kids every year. So again, thanks to Little Lions for taking this initiative, and the Big Boreal Adventure Goes Historical is going to be a great lot of fun and really informative for young people. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Larry. Finally, I want to recognize the many people who have worked extremely hard to create this final product, and to thank them for their efforts and dedication. It would never have been possible were it not for the generous grant of $31,000 from the Ontario Trillium Foundation. Now that you have seen the first of the 3 guidebooks that will be produced, I think you will agree that this was money well spent. First, we have the members of the collaborative. The City of Thunder Bay, which includes Parks Division, Archives, and the Heritage Advisory Committee. Thank you so much for understanding that it is important for our youngest citizens to know the unique history of our region. Special mention to city employees Werner Schwar and Pamela Kane for their dedication to this project. Thank you also to the Health Unit and Walkability Committee, who promote the project because of their concern regarding childhood obesity, a modern-day problem that can possibly be mitigated by more outdoor activity. Thunder Bay Museum. Special thank you to Museum Director Tori Tonroot for the time he spent in reading over the material and guiding our young intern. The museum is responsible for the majority of the photos that you see in the guidebook, and for that work, we are very grateful. Thunder Bay Public Library has been and remains a huge supporter of the Big Boreal Adventure. Not only was our intern able to conduct research at the library, it has been a major distributor of the nature version of the Big Boreal Adventure. They will continue in this partnership with us, and starting next week, children all over the city will be able to get a free copy of the guidebook through our libraries. In addition, all school boards have distributed registration forms, and with their cooperation, we look forward to continuing to get these books into the hands of our children. Association des Francophones du Nord-Ouest de l'Ontario is a new member of our Big Boreal Adventure Group. This is an important time for them since it is the 400th anniversary of the French presence in our area. The intention in the next edition is to highlight more Francophone history. We are especially grateful to Audrey de Bruyn for providing meeting space and for facilitating the French translation and proofreading. Thank you. You may not be aware that it was a grant of $3,000 from the Center for Place and Sustainability Studies at Lakehead University that actually laid the groundwork for this project in the summer of 2012. We want to say thank you to Dr. David Greenwood, who was instrumental in the awarding of that grant to our group. Thunder Bay Carvers is another group that made a significant financial contribution to the Big Boreal Nature version, and they are continuing their involvement with us. At this time, they are considering a new project to highlight the places featured by the Big Boreal Adventure. Generator is the company that did such a fine job in the creation of the guidebook. I think you will all agree that thanks to the creativity and patience of Greg Dubois, Kelly Hell, and Barry Smith, an exceptional guidebook has been produced. Sensia is another company we want to thank. You cannot see at the moment what they have created, but in a very short time, we will launch the new website. Their very generous donation to the project. The Northern Ontario Heritage Fund Corporation made it possible for us to hire a coordinator. The amount of work involved in the research and creation of this book would have been far too much to ask of any volunteer, and we were very lucky to have hired Matthew Marchioni as an intern for the year. We can't thank him in person as he's now in Southern Ontario, but we are grateful for the enthusiasm he had for this work on his project. He left the position of coordinator, but he has given us an idea to move the project in a new direction in the coming year. You will be hearing more about that in 2015. Lastly, a thank you to Little Lions Waldorf Daycare and Kindergarten. Little Lions hosted the intern for the year, and in every aspect of the project, when there was a gap, Little Lions stepped in to fill it. For those of you who loved the original nature of the project, which was also funded by the Ontario Trillium Foundation, we want to announce at this time that this fall we will distribute a new guidebook with an additional 12 sites. Luckily, the Thunder Bay Community Foundation gave us a grant to cover the cost of creating new metal plaques, which will be mounted at each new site. However, the graphic design and printing of such a project is costly. Though we had come to the end of the 3 years of funding for the project, we were able to continue because of the efforts of Little Lions staff, who for the past 2 years have been working at the Thunder Bay Community Bingo and have donated all the proceeds to this nature project. Without this support, the Nature Guidebook would not have been sustainable. Fortunately, the belief that we must reconnect children with nature lives strongly in the culture of Little Lions. And because of its staff, families across our city will continue to get outdoors and find pleasure in the many natural areas of our city. We hope that you will enjoy and promote both versions of the Big Boreal Adventure over the coming year. And once again, thank you for attending this event, and we invite you all to share in some refreshments that are out here and just chat with one another. And again, a very big thank you.